Ladies, I need to share something with you that might feel uncomfortable at first, but I promise it's going to change everything about how you approach your hair. Just yesterday, I received an email from Sarah, a beautiful 58-year-old woman who wrote, "I look in the mirror and I don't recognize myself anymore. My hair is so thin I can see my scalp, and nothing I try seems to work. I feel invisible." Does this sound familiar? Have you ever stood in front of your bathroom mirror, running your fingers through hair that used to be your crowning glory, wondering where it all went wrong? You're not alone in this struggle. In fact, by age 50, nearly 50% of women experience noticeable hair thinning, and by 60, that number jumps to 80%. But here's what nobody tells you, and this is where most of us get it completely wrong. We're so focused on trying to recreate the hair we had in our 20s and 30s that we're actually making our thin hair look worse. We're fighting against our hair instead of working with it. And that's exactly why nothing seems to work anymore. But what if I told you that some of the most elegant, confident women I know have thin hair? What if the problem isn't your hair at all, but simply the way you've been taught to style it? Today, I'm going to share with you the 4 simple steps that will completely transform how your thin hair looks and feels. These aren't complicated techniques that require professional training. These are strategic, intentional methods that work specifically for mature hair, and I guarantee that by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your current routine has been working against you. Before we dive in, if you're finding value in this content and you want more honest, practical advice specifically designed for women like us, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for EverWise Older Women. We're building a community of women who refuse to become invisible as we age, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Now let's talk about why everything you think you know about styling thin hair is probably wrong. The beauty industry has conditioned us to believe that more is always better. More volume, more products, more manipulation. But when it comes to thin hair, especially mature thin hair, more is actually the enemy. Your hair has changed, and it requires a completely different approach, one that honors where you are now, not where you used to be. The first step, and this is absolutely crucial, is understanding that thin hair and fine hair are not the same thing. Fine hair refers to the diameter of each individual strand, while thin hair refers to the density, the actual number of hairs on your head. You can have fine hair that's thick in density, or you can have coarse hair that's thin in density. Most women our age are dealing with both, hair that's become finer in texture and thinner in density due to hormonal changes, genetics, and the natural aging process. This is why the old rules don't apply anymore. Here's the truth that's going to set you free. Your thin hair doesn't need to look thick, it needs to look intentional. It needs to look elegant. It needs to look like you chose this style because it makes you look sophisticated and put together, not like you're desperately trying to hide something. When you shift your mindset from hiding thin hair to styling thin hair beautifully, everything changes. Step 1 is all about the foundation. And I'm not talking about makeup. I'm talking about your haircut. This is where most women get it catastrophically wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that longer hair is more feminine, more youthful, more attractive. So when our hair starts thinning, our instinct is to keep it long to maintain that femininity. But here's what actually happens. Long, thin hair pulls itself down with its own weight, making it look even thinner and more lifeless. It clings to your head, emphasizes your scalp, and ages you instantly. The solution isn't just cutting your hair shorter, it's cutting it strategically shorter. The ideal length for thin hair is typically between your chin and your shoulders, but the exact length depends on your face shape, your hair texture, and your personal style. The key is creating a length that allows your hair to have movement and body without the weight pulling it down. But here's where it gets really specific, and this is something most stylists won't tell you. You need layers, but not the layers you're thinking of. Traditional layering, where hair is cut at dramatically different lengths throughout, can make thin hair look choppy and even thin. What you need are subtle, strategic layers that create the illusion of density and movement. Think of it as creating a soft, graduated shape rather than distinct layers. The magic happens at the end. Instead of blunt, heavy ends that make thin hair look stringy, you want softly textured ends that create the illusion of fullness. This isn't about thinning shears, which can actually make your hair look wispy and damaged. This is about point cutting and slide cutting techniques that create natural-looking texture and movement. And here's something that might surprise you. The shortest layers should frame your face, not be hidden underneath longer pieces. This creates lift at the crown and movement around your face, which is infinitely more flattering than long, flat hair that hangs like curtains. Now let's talk about color, because this is step 2, and it's just as important as your color can be your secret weapon for creating the illusion of thicker, fuller hair, but only if you do it right. And unfortunately, most women our age are doing it completely wrong. The biggest mistake I see is going too dark or too light for your natural color. When your hair is thin, high contrast between your hair color and your scalp color makes the thinning more obvious. If you have naturally light hair and you go very dark, or if you have naturally dark hair and you go very light, you're creating a stark contrast that draws attention to exactly what you're trying to hide. The solution is staying within 2 shades of your natural color. But here's the sophisticated part. Instead of one solid color, you want subtle dimension. This means gentle highlights or lowlights that create depth and the illusion of thickness. When light hits hair that has dimensional color, it creates shadows and highlights that make the hair appear fuller and more voluminous. But here's what's really going to transform your hair. Gray coverage doesn't have to mean solid flat color. In fact, solid color on thin hair often looks artificial and emphasizes the thinning. Instead, consider a technique called color melting, or root smudging, where your natural color, including gray, is blended seamlessly with your chosen shade. This creates a more natural, lived-in look that's incredibly flattering and much more forgiving as your hair grows. And if you're embracing your gray, which can be absolutely stunning, consider adding subtle lowlights in your original color to create dimension. Gray hair can sometimes appear flat and one-dimensional, but when you add depth with strategic color placement, it becomes rich and sophisticated. Step 3 is about styling, and this is where we're going to completely revolutionize your routine. Everything you've been taught about creating volume is probably making your hair look worse. The old school methods of teasing, backcombing, and using massive amounts of mousse or volumizing spray are not your friends. They make thin hair look damaged, artificial, and honestly a bit desperate. The new approach is about creating lift and movement, not volume. There's a difference, and once you understand it, you'll never go back to your old methods. Volume implies bulk and thickness, which thin hair simply can't achieve authentically. But lift and move, that's absolutely achievable and infinitely more elegant. Here's how you create lift without damage. Start with damp, not wet hair. Wet hair is too heavy and will fall flat as it dries. Towel dry gently, never roughly, and then apply a lightweight volumizing product only to the root. I'm talking about a product the size of a small coin, not the handful you might be used to using. More product equals more weight, and weight is the enemy of lift. Now here's the technique that changes everything. Instead of blow drying your hair straight down, which flattens it against your head, you're going to lift sections of hair straight up and blow dry them in that lifted position. Use a round brush, but not the way you think. Don't wrap the hair around the brush trying to create. Instead, place the brush under the section of hair at the roots and lift straight up while directing the airflow from your blow dryer up and over the hair. Work in small sections, and here's the crucial part. Let each section cool completely before moving to the next one. Hair takes its shape as it cools, so if you release a section while it's still warm, it will fall flat immediately. This cooling step is what makes the lift last all day. For the ends of your hair, don't try to curl them under into a perfect bob. Instead, use the blow dryer to create a slight bend or flip. This adds movement and prevents that helmet head look that screams, "I'm trying too hard to hide my thin hair." And here's a game-changing tip. Once your hair is completely dry and styled, flip your head upside down and gently shake your hair out. This breaks up any too perfect styling and creates natural-looking movement and texture. Step 4 is about the finishing touches, and this is where most women either go completely overboard or don't do enough. The key is strategic product placement and the right tools for maintenance throughout the day. First, let's talk about hairspray, because you're probably using it wrong. Most women spray hairspray all over their hair, which weighs it down and makes it look stiff and unnatural. Instead, you want to use hairspray strategically. Lift sections of hair at the crown and spray only the roots, holding the bottle about 6 inches away. This locks in the lift without adding weight to the lengths of your hair. For texture and separation, which are crucial for thin hair, you need a lightweight texturizing product. But here's the sophisticated approach. Instead of applying product directly to your hair, spray it onto your hands first. Rub your palms together and then gently scrunch it into the mid-lengths and ends of your hair. This creates natural-looking texture without the crispy, overdone look that comes from direct application. Now let's talk about touch-ups throughout the day, because thin hair tends to fall flat faster than thick hair. Instead of carrying a brush and trying to restyle your hair, which often makes it look worse, carry a small bottle of texturizing spray. A light mist followed by gentle scrunching with your fingers will revive your style without disturbing the foundation you created in the morning. And here's something that might surprise you. Your hands are your best styling tool. Throughout the day, instead of constantly brushing or combing your hair, which can make it look flat and overly controlled, use your fingers to gently lift and separate sections. This maintains that natural, effortless look that's so much more flattering than perfect, untouchable hair. But let's address the elephant in the room, because I know some of you are thinking it. What about those days when your hair just won't cooperate? What about those times when you wake up and your hair looks even thinner than usual? This is where strategic accessories become your best friend. But not in the way you might think. The key is choosing accessories that add to your style rather than obviously covering up a problem. A silk scarf tied elegantly around your head can look intentionally chic. Not like you're hiding bad hair. A stylish headband can add interest and keep hair away from your face, which actually makes thin hair look fuller by comparison. And here's a sophisticated sometimes the best thing you can do for thin hair is embrace it completely. Slick it back with a small amount of hair oil or serum for a sleek, intentional look that's incredibly elegant. This works especially well for evening events or when you want to look polished and put together. Now let's talk about the psychological aspect of this transformation. Because changing how you style your hair is really about changing how you see yourself. For too long, we've been conditioned to see thin hair as a problem to be hidden rather than a characteristic to be styled beautifully. But when you shift your mindset from hiding to styling, from covering up to showing off, everything changes. I want you to think about the most elegant, confident women you know. Chances are, it's not their thick, voluminous hair that makes them so striking. It's their confidence, their intentionality, their refusal to apologize for who they are. Your hair is just one element of your overall presence. And when you style it with intention and confidence, it becomes a reflection of your sophistication and self-assurance. Here's what I want you to remember. Thin hair styled well looks infinitely better than thin hair styled to look. When you work with your hair instead of against it, when you choose techniques and products that enhance what you have rather than trying to create what you don't have, the result is authentic, elegant, and effortlessly beautiful. The 4 steps we've covered today, the strategic cut, the dimensional color, the lifting styling technique, and the sophisticated finishing touches. These aren't just about making your hair look better. They're about helping you feel more confident, more put together, and more authentically yourself. But here's the most important thing I want you to take away from this video. Your worth, your beauty, your attractiveness have absolutely nothing to do with the thickness of your hair. These techniques aren't about making you look younger or trying to turn back the clock. They're about helping you look like the most polished, confident, intentional version of yourself right now. At this stage of your life, you have earned the right to take up space, to be seen, to be admired. You have earned the right to feel beautiful and confident, regardless of whether your hair is thick or thin. These styling techniques are simply tools to help you present yourself to the world in a way that reflects how amazing you truly are. I know some of you might be feeling overwhelmed by all this information, wondering if you can really make these changes, or if they'll work for your specific hair type and situation. But remember, every journey begins with a single step. You don't have to implement all 4 steps at once. Start with 1. Maybe booking a consultation with a stylist who understands mature hair, and see how that feels. Then gradually incorporate the other techniques as you become more comfortable with this new approach. And please, be patient with yourself during this transition. Learning new styling techniques takes time, and your hair might not cooperate immediately. That's completely normal and expected. Give yourself permission to experiment, to make mistakes, to have some not so great hair days as you figure out what works best for you. What I want you to remember is that this isn't about perfection. This is about progress. This is about finding an approach to your hair that makes you feel confident and beautiful, that works with your lifestyle and your personal style, that honors who you are right now. If you found value in today's video, I'd love for you to subscribe to EverWise Older Women and hit that notification bell so you never miss our content. We're creating a community of women who are redefining what it means to age gracefully, who are refusing to become invisible, who are committed to looking and feeling their absolute best at every stage of life. In the description below, you'll find links to the specific products I mentioned today, as well as additional resources for finding stylists who specialize in mature hair. Remember, investing in yourself and your appearance isn't vanity, it's self-care. It's a way of honoring yourself and showing the world that you value yourself enough to put effort into how you present yourself. Your hair is just one part of your overall beauty, but when you style it with intention and confidence, it becomes a powerful tool for expressing your personality and your self-assurance. You deserve to feel beautiful. You deserve to feel confident. And you absolutely deserve to love what you see when you look in the mirror. Thank you for spending this time with me today, for being open to new ideas and new approaches. I believe in you, I believe in your beauty, and I believe in your ability to create positive changes in your life. Starting with something as simple as how you style your hair. Until next time, remember that age is just a number, but style is eternal.